A beautiful day, everyone!
I'm Rose Melinda Lubatan.
I'm Mel Roslitim.
I'm Jeneline Kubakog.
I'm Melvic May Paimalan. And we are here to present our research proposal entitled
Instructional Materials and Learning Interests of the BSED English Students in Surigao State College of Technology, Malimono Campus. In Chapter 1, this chapter presents the introduction, review of literature, conceptual framework, and statement of the problem, scope and limitation, and definition of terms.
Teaching is a multi-phased human activity. It involves a wide range of planning, strategies, interaction, organizational arrangement, and materials resource that take place in the teaching-learning process. Agon 1992 defined instructional materials as those materials which are helpful to the teachers and students and which maximize learning in various areas. The researchers conducted this study to know how effective teaching in any subject not only stimulates students' interest in the subject but also enhance their achievements in the examination.
It is the intention of researchers in this chapter to review the works of scholars and researchers which are related to this topic. This will be done under the following topics. First, the effectiveness of auditory and the visual senses. Second, need for the use of audiovisual materials. Third, types of audiovisual materials. Fourth, the influence of audiovisual materials in the teaching of social studies. And the last, the summary of review. Bonska explained that one remember only 10% of what is heard and 90% of what is heard, seen, and done.
This study is founded on the idea of Hall's 2014, who stated that teaching materials are used to describe the resources teachers use to deliver instruction. Teaching materials can support student learning and increase student success. Ideally, the teaching materials will be tailored to the content in which they're being used, to the students in whose class they are being used, and the teacher. So in the figure 1 presents the paradigm of the study. The first box contains the extent of the instructional materials as to content, organization, learning support, and balance. So the second box contains the learning interest of the respondents as to the interest-driven IM, class learning activities, teachers' professional preparedness, and classroom environment. The quality of these materials directly impacts the quality of teaching. Knowing how to find the best instructional materials is valuable skill for a teacher to have. This study determined the extent of instructional materials and learning interests of the BSED English, first year, second year, third year student on Malimono, Surigao State College of Technology, Malimono Campus. It is hypothesized that, 1. There is no significant relationship between the instructional materials and the learning interest of respondents.
This study may provide significance to the following. First, school administrators. Next is the teachers.
Next is the parents. The last one is the researchers. This study is limited only to the following. The first one is the focus. This study focuses on the use of instructional materials and the learning interests of the students. The second one is the respondents. The respondents of the study are the students in BSED English. The place and time, the study did at Surigao State College of Technology, Malimono Campus.
For better clarity in the entire study, the following terms are defined.
Number 1 is balance.
Next is class learning activities.
Next, classroom environment.
Content.
Next is interest-driven IM. Next is learning support.
The next is organization. And the last one is teachers' professional preparedness.
Methods. This chapter presents the research design, research environment, respondents, research instruments, ethics and data gathering procedure, and data analysis.
Descriptive research design was employed in the study. The researchers found the appropriateness of this design because it determined the extent of the instructional materials produced and utilized in the class and the learning interests of the College of Teacher Education.
Surigao State College of Technology Malimono Campus. It is mandated to provide higher vocational, professional, and technological instruction and training in the fields of fisheries, sciences, as well as short-term technical courses.
This study made use of the researcher instrument as a mentor in collecting and required data. It has two parts. The part 1 sought information on the extent of the instructional materials produced and utilized in the class as the content, organization, learning support, and balance. The part 2 determined the learning interests of the respondents as to interest-driven IM, class learning activities, teachers' professional preparedness, and classroom environment.
The respondents of the study were the Bonfire BSED first year, second year, and third year students who are currently enrolled at Surigao State College of Technology, Malimono Campus during first semester, school year 2020 to 2021.
Ethics and data gathering procedure. Before the administration of researchers mid-questionnaire to respondent, the researchers prepared a letter asking permission for the Dean, College of Teacher Education in gathering the needed of the data Appendix A. A separate letter was prepared and addressed to the respondent of studying in Appendix B. After the approval was secured from the authority, the researchers personally approached the respondent of the study. The items were explained by the researchers for the respondent to make sure the desired data are obtained.
Thank you for listening. God bless.